God has laid out a track. He has guidelines and guardrails He wants us to cruise on. He wants us to hit on all cylinders to pull some serious RPMs. So remember, somebody Ferrari somebody. That's right, you're a Ferrari, so am I. And once we realize that, once we give the keys to Jesus and allow Him to drive, I'm telling you, He'll take us places we never, ever, ever dreamed possible.
I have no idea what that means. Slap the cameraman next to you and tell him, you're a Ferrari. Ay, ay, ay. In keeping with our race car theme, and now a story about a cart. I know it's not a race car, but it's the best we could do to keep the theme. Do you remember the story of Uzzah? This is one of those Old Testament stories perhaps you read a long time ago and you haven't thought about. R.C. Sproul retells the story of Uzzah and his cart and the Ark of the Covenant, reminding us, with all due respect to the groovy pastor, we're not Ferraris.
You remember that the most sacred vessel of Israel was being transported in a cart, which was against the word of the Lord. And instead of carrying the Ark of the Covenant, Uzzah and his cohorts simply escorted the Ark of the Covenant as it was in this cart headed toward the holy city. One of the oxen stumbled, and the cart tilted. And it looked for the moment as if the Ark of the Covenant, the very throne of God, was going to fall from the ox cart into the mud. Instinctively, Uzzah reaches out to steady the ark. And what happened? God shouts from heaven, "Thank you, Uzzah!" No. In a second, God killed him. You see, Uzzah believed that what would desecrate the sanctity of the Ark of the Covenant would be the mud. God had not given His law to keep His throne from being stained by contact with the earth. What He wanted to ensure was that the Ark of the Covenant would not be polluted by dirt, but by the touch of a human hand. And Uzzah presumed, says Edwards, that his hands were cleaner than the dirt. And God said no.
Ooh. Our hands are dirtier than dirt. We're not Ferraris, we're filth. And if you think, oh, I don't think that's not as nice a message as the Ferrari guy, that one makes me feel better. Hold on, think about it just for a moment. If you're a Ferrari and you're racing around the track, what happens when you get into an accident and you ding up the bumper? Will God no longer love you? If it's based on you being so wonderful, it makes God's love contingent on how spanky you are. There's another danger in Ferrari theology, if you will. Never thought I'd say those words. You're racing around the track and you're going hard, baby, and you're working at it and you're zooming and you're zipping, and then you get into a pileup. You get into a wreck, life comes along and trips you up, you lose your job, you lose a loved one, you get the diagnosis, and you know what you're going to get? Bitter. Hey, I've been racing for you. Why'd you allow the accident? And you get angry, but instead, when you realize you're not a sports car, you're dirt, and that God loves you anyway, and that His love for you is not contingent on you and your performance, but based on the performance of His Son, Jesus Christ, not the Ferrari, the lowly, the meek, the perfect God-man, and everything that He did in keeping the laws, the punishment that He took, all to wash away your dirty sins and to accredit you with righteousness. If you come to Jesus Christ not as a self-righteous Ferrari, but as lowly dirt, He will cleanse you and make you